our last meeting who basically got up, he started looking at his phone and talked about some of the bills that are coming up and what are some of the things that we can do. And I just thought it was great. He's very knowledgeable, and you know, I think it's great that young people are getting themselves involved and really looking to see what can we do. I mean, okay, I'll let the cat out of the bag. When we had this situation, especially over the last few months with the Emergency Measures Act, caught us really off by guard. Like, there's no way they would enact that. That's for extreme measures and so on. And so one of my daughters says, "Mom, do we have to just sit here and take this?" I was like, wow. Yeah, very good question. Do we? So I'm going to just lead in and say, Preston, come on up and share what you want to share. Woo! Give it a good hand, Preston.
Hi, everyone. Today I wanted to give you guys a brief history of who I am, how I got here, and why I feel the need to be speaking with you all today. I'm 32 years old. I was raised in the Lower Mainland. I come from a fairly large family. I love traveling, and I'm down to try almost anything new. I try to be very active and eat a balanced diet. People tell me that I can be very hard on myself at times, as I not only carry my own stresses, but I tend to bind myself to the brunt of other people's stresses in time of their need. With that being said, I always try to see the positive things in life. My first run into politics started when I was 25 years old. I casted my ballot at the 2015 federal election when Trudeau first ran for office. At that time, I had a majority of my friends and family voting for Mr. Trudeau, but I felt something seemed off about his character. I had this weird feeling come over me that I needed to dig a little bit deeper about his previous roles in government, his upbringing, his life status, and how he even came to be. I decided to go with my gut, and I voted for an alternate party instead. Within a relatively timely manner, I started to notice things that Mr. Trudeau was doing and how he was making changes to things like our national anthem, and many large sums of Canadian taxpayer dollars were leaving our country to other countries or foreign businesses. And this wasn't just for humanitarian purposes. He even gave MasterCard $50 million.
What?
$50 million. As time proceeded, I started to see a trend very fast, and I was concerned. I started to ask myself, why was all this money leaving Canada and not going towards things like mental health, cheaper housing costs, the opioid crisis, which, by the way, had taken quite a few of my friends' lives? I was asking myself, why is Canada accumulating so much foreign debt? It didn't make sense to me what he was doing. Did you know that Canada actually has a credit rating just like you and I? Canada's once AAA credit rating is now a AA credit rating.
Wow.
This means that because Canada has now borrowed so much money, we have a higher premium in interest to pay off, which means more of your hardworking tax dollars. Can I have a show of hands as to who here heard about the carbon tax going up yesterday? Okay, a few people. You probably might have heard something on your social media about that. But I bet you didn't know that the Trudeau government and all their MPs also on the same day received a raise.
Boo.
Yes, that's right.
Boo.
That's right. Those politicians got a raise yesterday so they can deal with inflation for their family. But we all got the opposite. By 2017, I was getting pretty heavy into Canadian politics. I would share news articles of where the spending was happening on my social media. The policy changes he was making and the new gas taxes he was implementing, and etc. I basically witnessed my country slowly falling apart. So I tried to warn everyone about what was happening. My postings on Facebook came with a lot of backlash by some close friends of mine and some of my closest family members. I was ridiculed very intensely and made fun of publicly. I was even bullied online by some of my closest family members, and it was very hard. But you know what I did? I took it. I always knew I was standing up for what I believe in, and the right to be able to exercise my free speech. So where am I going with all of this? Well, let me ask you a question. Who here likes the freedom to be able to articulate their opinions without fear of retaliation, censorship, or legal action? Who likes that? We all do, right? Well, I got news for you. The current government doesn't. With bills like C-10 and C-11, the government is trying to silence you and independent journalism. They're trying to censor more of your social media, what you post, what your Google searches see, news articles, everything. This allows the government an easier time to push their propaganda so it fits their narrative and what they want for you. This, my friends, is one example of communism. But I have good news. With your help tonight, we have the potential to stop this bills, and learn a new skill. We need to speak up, all of us. Every one of us has a voice. Whether your voice is small or large, it's still your voice. Whether you speak it online or just sharing a view with someone you just met or someone you're close with, it doesn't matter. The importance of being able to exercise your free speech couldn't be any more important in your life in Canada than right now. So I ask of you, please take a look at these example letters we have made for you. Send it into your local MP, MLA, or senator's office. Take the letters, grab an envelope, and don't be lazy. Make a difference. Drop it in a mailbox, email it, and send it off. You will feel satisfied that you did something to make a difference. Judy will be able to help direct you with more about how to find out who your local MP is. If you want to add to the letter, even better yet, add your own personal message. You can do this with any bill that you don't agree with, any law they're trying to pass, and anything that has an effect on your life politically. The government will reach back to you once they receive it from you. We want to flood their office with mail like this. Canada has hard times ahead, especially with the backing of the NDP. It makes them easier to pass bills like this with less resistance. And doing things like attending rallies and educating our friends and foe, they will see in time that we are serious. And we want a bright, free future. I can't promise you that this is going to prevent these laws from coming in, but it will help, and it's an important life skill. Like I said, this applies to anything that you want changed for your future. We need to be strong, we need to be free, and most of all, we need to be kind Canadians. On that note, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. And I'd like to add, we have set up a donation box at the back of the room. It's not an obligation to make a donation, but it does help pay for things like pizza and refreshments. Thank you all.
Woo! Thank you. Woo!